Terrific. Let's have a look how they're lining up then today. Leeds are without Lee Smith in their back line because of a knee infection. Ashley Gibson is the able deputy. Maguire and Burrow provide the dash and dazzle. In the forwards, Matt Diskin starts at hooker despite the availability again of Danny Baderas, who's on the bench. No sign of Ryan Bailey in the 17. He's missing with a groin injury. St Helens are without the services of 3-time Lansard Trophy winner Sean Long because of a dead leg. They will miss him. Leon Price moves to scrum half. John Wilkin is the makeshift standoff, and in the forwards, Tony Puletua has made a big impact since his close season arrival, but it's hooker Kieran Cunningham who will be the main cog in that powerful pack. And it's on the benches that you get a real indication of how strong these two clubs are. Some towering talents who can't get a starting place, but with 12 interchanges allowed, we should see them all before the day is done. Phil Bentham is our referee. He was the referee when these two sides met those 2-3 weeks ago. He knows what's expected. Kevin Sinfield will get us underway here as well. Headingly bathed in sunshine, sits and waits and anticipates what should be a classic. Two heavyweights go toe-to-toe, and for one, this will be a fourth-round knockout, and it's St Helens who get first taste of the ball.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this, Dave, not just for the individual skill that will be on show, but also for the tactics there, but most of all for the actual confrontation. It's been boiling, it's been simmering ever since these two sides met in Super League a couple of weeks ago. It'll be absolute crackerjack.
Third.
St Helens looking to gain ground here. It's important that they have a safe set of 6, of course, with the first time they have their hands on the ball, just to set a platform here. Puletua is the man who's dragged down just short of the halfway line. Cunningham will pick up now and scampers away. Leeds are quick into the tackle, nothing being given here.
5.
And already tackle 5 is reached.
Hold Kylie, go.
So the next will be a kick.
Jamie, okay.
Little jab over the top by Wilkin. It's a little bit of invention as well, and it might pay off, but it bounces away from him and into the hands of the man who is most dangerous, Brent Webb, who eventually is hauled down. That is just the character they didn't want to see come up with the ball.
Yeah, it'd been better going for the more conservative play, just putting the ball into the corner. That's where they possibly may miss Sean Long, but what a marvellous kick return from Brent Webb.
Leeds in a wonderful position here. Maguire running across that line. Out it goes towards Ablett. Ablett helps it on its way again. It's a juggle, it's a drop, and it's a sigh of relief breathed by St Helens as Gilmore brings it away.
Well, what a head-and-scare start here. We've had action both ends of the field there. Leeds with a half chance that Scott Donald bombed there with the pressure put on him by Francis Melly.
First.
It's been lively, and we expect it to get livelier still as the game goes on. If you did miss it in the build-up, and if you did miss it when these two sides met 2 or 3 weeks ago, St Helens winning that night 26-18, but my word, there was some venom released as St Helens knock on. Well, complaints from Flannery that before he got to John Wilkin that there was a hand there from a Leeds player.
Yeah, I don't think the hand played at the ball though. Jamie Jones Buchanan it was. I think he played at Keenan Cunningham's arm. Cunningham often picks up, tries to engage the marker, and obviously Jamie Jones Buchanan playing at the arm, and that's forced the header. So great field position for the Rhinos.
For the second time, Leeds have possession inside the St Helens half, and they have a platform on which to run as well here. Diskin the man up at dummy half. Here comes Peacock, Mr. Redoubtable, at the heart of that Leeds pack. 20 yards away, just over. Diskin once more. Burrow scampering on again. Jones Buchanan, but it's behind him to Webb. He's been rated as one of the most attacking fullbacks in the world, has Brent Webb. And we've already seen him in half flight. Jones Buchanan. Well, you can see how close they're getting here. This is Burrow. Here's Maguire. Diskin on the inside, but it goes deeper still to Luluai. And a big put forward takes some handling, but here's dealt with and has dropped it, has he? Yes, he has. Well, the force of the pressure from the St Helens defence has forced a mistake.
Yeah, St Helens will take great heart from that. That's the second time they've had to defend their own line. A clear drop there from Kylie Lulai. Referee got it exactly right. Knock on, so it's Saints head and field, but they'll be very, very happy. That's 2 sets. They've been on their own line, and they've held safe without a problem.
St Helens looking to build again. Puletua. Such a powerful figure in that St Helens pack. Wants to get the arms free as well. But on this occasion, here's Graham. Good hands along the line. It's an interesting combination at half-back today, John. Missing Sean Longar, St Helens. Leon Price, who we are used to seeing in that position, although it's a scrum half today, different role as a pivot. And John Wilkin in there as well. How disrupting is that for St Helens?
Well, it's bound to be disrupting because they had the young kid Wheeler playing there against my team last week. But he's a very good player, John Wilkin, and Leon Price is growing and maturing as each season passes.
And to put this game into some kind of context, in the last 3 years, every major honour, the Challenge Cup or the Super League title, has been won by one or other of these two teams. They have dominated, monopolised Super League for the last 3 years. And one of them's going to miss out here. Damien Johnson is down on the touchline.
Well, conditions down here are absolutely ideal for rugby league, Dave. It's a balmy April day. There's a slight breeze at the backs of the St Helens players, a firm pitch, and that breeze may just help the kicking game of people like Wilkin and Price.
We moved on the foot.
Burrow will take the tap here. Kevin Sinfield's kick has put Leeds in a good position, and it means that Peacock can just slide it in again. He does so much of the undazzling work, doesn't he? The unglamorous work.
Yeah, you always need players like Jamie Peacock in your team. What a great Burrow!
Wonderful dummy and the turn of pace as well, and that low sense of gravity he has, almost helping him through, but Leeds in an excellent position again here. Webb, now Sinfield, Ablett to his right, Longer still there, good hands, quick hands, and Donald will get over, has he? It might just be that the tackle was timely, that Gilmore got there. What a moment in defence that was.
Well, what magnificent centre defensive play there from Lee Gilmore.
Well done, Tony.
Absolutely first class. Great ball transference here from the Rhinos. You see there, they're just holding the Saints defence up, and then wide the balls goes. They've just got to an extra man there. Melly comes in, tries to stop the situation, but it's Gilmore sweeping round the back and really commits himself, puts Scott Donald over the sideline. Magnificent tackle.
Move!
It looked every inch a try, but it was a couple of inches short, thanks to Gilmore's timely intervention. St Helens bringing it out again, and bringing it out with real purpose as well here in the form of Clough in the first instance. Gidley is the man who is collared, and now Cunningham and Graham, and a bit of momentum building here for St Helens as well. Offload is looked for by Hargreaves, but isn't found.
And wait, we've already got
a couple of tackles left in this set as well. St Helens in a decent position. Their best have been in for a while as well. It's Pullatua who's held up and dragged down, but look how many it takes.
5! Move!
Sixth tackle coming up.
Hold! Go!
Here's Cunningham.
Use your foot, Tony!
It's Wilkin, who sends it high. Wellens went off in hot pursuit. Webb's underneath it. Down it comes off the hands of Flannery. Bounces around, and eventually Webb takes it, but offside. Offside.
It's not back off, Saints. It's a penalty for offside.
Well, that's an interesting one.
Offside.
It really is. It'll be interesting to see that one again. It's a very high kick, but the most interesting thing, well, look at the chase there from St Helens. Very urgent, putting Webb under pressure. I believe they knocked it back. Well, that's a little harsh for me. That may well have been accidental. I think the ball played the Leeds man first of all, but it did ricochet to an offside position, and interestingly taking the tap, Dave.
Well, theoretically, no change in the situation, because had it been accidental offside, it would have been head and feet to St Helens anyway, and given them this position. Here comes Pullatua. Tries to get in there, but can't quite do so.
2, move!
A wrestle required. Cunningham. Here's Price. Eventually gets it away. Wilkin gets it on that. Flannery. Held up and put down.
And move!
Couple of strides away from where he wants to be. Cunningham again now, went one way, then back the other, but Senior has marshalled him well and wrestled him down and prevented the ball from being released.
Ball feet.
This is Flannery, who stands at acting half again. Price has run right, is now found by Flannery, and Gidley tries to step away. Here comes Gardner. They're a potent pair, those two, but can't quite pierce that Leeds armour on this occasion. Here comes tackle 6. Now it's Price, rushed at by Ablett, onto Wilkin. Wilkin left-footed, sends it high. Watch carefully, knocked back by Melly, still alive. Here comes Wellens, a little kick over the top to the in-goal to chase, but too high, too far, And it's a tap back on the 20 for Leeds.
Well, a couple of interesting pointers there, Dave. First of all, they're obviously trying to get to Rob Barrow, defending on the left-hand side with Gidley opposite, but also the aerial bombardment that St Helens are putting in the Leeds wingers. It's they really are peppering them with the high balls.
Well, to continue the heavyweight metaphor, they've both been on the ropes, but they've both come back with defences still intact. Maguire, here's Ablett. He's just about able to deal with the Leeds man. There's a suggestion he was a little too keen to carry on rolling and wrestling, but the referee says that was okay. Now Barrow, again searching wide for Senior. Senior against Gidley. Senior takes it on, tries to time the pass, tries to spoon it into the hands of Ryan Hall. It's Webb. Now Sinfield. Sinfield stepping away from Hargreaves, and Lulai was met quickly but shrugs off all comers. At least for a yard or two. Last tackle will be the next. Maguire.
Kick it clear.
Able to get the kick away. Rollins underneath and watches and doesn't risk the bounce. He's happy to take.
Yeah, quality full-back play there from Paul Wellens. Never an ounce of doubt in anyone's mind. Just going to pounce that ball and defuse the situation.
Back, Jamie.
Last year, these two met in the semi-final of this competition. St Helens were the winners, of course, because they went on to win the trophy. They are three times Challenge Cup holders, St Helens. You have to go back an awful long way since they were last beaten in this competition. And they have a penalty again here. No prizes for John Keir, guessing when they were last beaten, because it was his side, as was Hull, in the semi-final of the Cup in 2005.
Yeah, a long time ago, wasn't it? And it just shows St Helens' dominance of this competition, and they'll be mindfully relieved there to use that long kick, which we almost caught there, Dave, to gain a bit of field position.
There was a moment when I was hoping you weren't going to catch it. It was very close. Hull, by the way, went on to win that year, and they are the last team, other than St Helens or Leeds, to win anything domestically at the Super League level. St Helens are in position here, or at least building that way. Cunningham from dummy half. Here's Wilkin again, across to Price, who has his off-the-field concerns, which were alluded to earlier, but he's not letting them get in his way just at the moment. It's Pullatur searching down that blind side. Look how he carries the arm, the left arm free from the tackle, so with the opportunity allowed, he could have got it away, but not then. Here's Wilkin now. Graham. Cunningham has to reach, but does well, and Flannery tries to step away from the tackle. Backwards by Gidley. Tries to reassess, and in reassessing almost finds a way through that Leeds defence. With one tackle to go.
Stand down. Stand up. Go.
Cunningham.
Go back forward, Matt.
Price quickly looking to create the overlap here, but Leeds' defence rushed up so that the passing wasn't quite as crisp as it might be. Millie's kick was awful, and now he releases, but it is still play on. It is still the tap. The sixth tackle. It's Graham's kick. It's taken by Gardner and Ryan Hall, and then Rob Barrow do a very good job of making sure it can't be kept alive from there.
Yeah, great concentration there from the Leeds Rhinos. The ball hit the ground. It was going all over the place, but not once did they lose their focus on defence.
St Helens do that to teams, don't they? And they look as though they've lost a bit of structure in attack. In fact, they have confused the structure of the defence in the way they keep it alive, one way or another.
Go, it's all right.
Diskin. Here's Sinfield.
Third. Back up, Saints. Wait, go.
10 yards short of that halfway line as Lulai again carries it forward.
4. Move!
His name will seem familiar to you because there are so many Lulais knocking around in rugby league. Thomas, his cousin, is at Wigan.
Held there.
James, his uncle, has once a Wembley start for Hull. Sinfield. Here's Maguire.
Kick is clear.
Easy take, wasn't it, for Paul Wellens once again, and returned the ball fully 15 metres before he met the Rhinos chase. So I'm sure Coach Brian McLaren will be a little concerned with the Leeds kicking game in these early stages.
Oh, here's Gardner running down that central channel and finding a way back to more familiar territory on the wing here, but opportunities closing down, and it was Peacock who got back to put in the vital challenge. St Helens, though, are doing well here. Graham buttles in and offloads again. Good hands from St Helens as they tried to open Leeds up on the fringes. The referee allowed an advantage, but then decided there was an offside, and it will be a penalty for St Helens.
What great skill, though, in that passage of play there. There's some delicate, soft hands there, short passes, and also some really accurate long passes from John Wilkin. Outstanding skill it is, and what a break that was from Eddie Gardner, deep inside his own half. Great evasive skills.
Taken in by Clough. 5 yards out. Cunningham stands at dummy half again here. They're lining up right and left. It's to the near side. Wilkin again, standing a little deeply. Across to Gidley. Gidley takes on Burrow. A big man against a little man. Oh, it goes to Gardner, who's in! Trademark offload from Gidley, who's provided his wing partner with so many try-scoring opportunities, but it still did need finishing. And my word, how well Eddie Gardner finished.
Well, we called it earlier, they're trying to get Gidley isolated one-on-one with Rod Burrows. He did a little in and away, attracted the wingman there, and just out of the back door, beautiful centre play, out the back door to his wingman, just created enough space for Gardner to cross in the corner. Absolutely quality centre play, quality wing play. It's a really clever try here created by the St Helens team. Beautiful work, in and away on Burrows, attracted the winger, Gardner over in the corner. Great try.
Well, 8 times this season Gardner and Gidley have been paired up, and they have now scored 10 tries between them. That is Gardner's 5th try of the season, but if you think you keep an eye on the winger and keep him tied up, then Gidley can score them too. He's got 5 touchdowns, so as a pair, they are irrepressible. Good. Centres and wingers do tend to come in pairs, don't they? Look down the years. Paul Helens is the man who's been taking over the goal-kicking here. He's not a first-choice goal-kicker for St Helens. Sean Long is that. I'm not sure that Sean Long necessarily enjoys the role, but he's quite good at it. But he's not playing today, obviously, so it is Paul Helens who takes over. And it is a difficult one that he faces first up to. He was in his testimonial year this year with St Helens, Paul Helens, and he has pulled it wide, not too wide, but wide enough for the flags to stay down. But St Helens have that early lead.
Yeah, it's a lovely try, isn't it? Look at the shape and structure of the St Helens attack. Cover the full width of the field. Some beautiful passing there to transfer the ball left to right. An outstanding finish from that centre wing pair of Gidley and Gardner.
Substitution.
First, but it won't be the last score in this game. Coming Sinfield to get us underway again. It's Wilkin. Jamie James Buchanan muscled up with a shoulder.
First, move and hold Leeds. Hold. Go.
Here's Graham.
Second.
Just a question of muscling up here. So that Leeds have made an interchange there. Luke Burgess is the man who's come on.
Jump. Back away.
Just the first little sign here.
Hey! Jamie!
That was Phil Bentham, the referee, sort this out.
Jamie, I'm stood right here. Walk away. James, just walk away.
Lads, just start passing each other on the back.
Move away, lads. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, go.
This is the moment that caused the ire.
Okay.
Well, it's just a little bit of a confrontation. I think Phil Bentham there is being very accomplished there as a referee. He sends the players away, settles things down. Gonna have a chat with the captains now.
See what he has to say to the two skippers.
Yeah. Somebody's been taken off the ball, okay? Wilkin's been taken off the ball by Carl Ablett, okay? What I can't have is then him responding to it. We've got to deal with it, Kieran. Right. Okay? Kevin's going to have to be the same the other way. All right, let's go. It's a penalty to Saints.
Well, an explanation to the two captains as to what happened, and a suggestion that we simply get on with the game. The penalty goes St Helens well.
Yeah, that's very good refereeing, because there was interference on Wilkin in the back lane. It was Carl Ablett who was the culprit, as identified by the officials team, and they just took the heat out of the situation. Let's get back to the Rugby League.
So just the one try so far. If you're late joining us, you missed the earlier action. It was a thriller-minute game in Perpignan. Catalan eventually winning against the Bradford Bulls, and that was a result that went very down very well here at Headingley. Big cheers every time the Catalans scored. They had to come from a long way back to do it, and here St Helens only score from Gardner, the only score of the game. It's Gilmore who has possession here for Saints.
It's been an outstanding opening quarter of an hour, hasn't it, David? Real high-quality rugby league from both sides. And defensively looking superb.
Here's Graham. So, taken on a stride or two by Paul Clough.
Move! Wait!
Cunningham.
Go.
To Price. A little step back on the inside. He goes searching once more. He's the target
Move!
for the jeers of the South stand, but he's deaf to those, I'm sure. Wilkin.
Wellens is okay.
Brent Webb's got his eye on it, the Leeds full back. And when it comes, Ryan Hall was there as well, but Webb's taken it and almost got away from the slippery grasp of Bryn Hargreaves, who just about kept hold.
Well, we've applauded Paul Wellens for pouching some kicks, but he hasn't had the pressure there. Brent Webb under intense pressure and came away with the ball. That's superb full-back play.
Joined in by Luke Burgess, his brother Sam involved in the earlier game for Bradford. Here's Sinfield, now Ablett. Tried to take on that line himself. Smart having Gibson on his outside. Little search by Sinfield and an offload, which may or may not have come off. It's not. The referee decides there was a knock-on involved there. There might even have been an offside, to be fair. So Helens had a feed at the scrum.
Yeah, that may well be the first piece of loose play, really, there. And Kevin Sinfield trying to twist and turn in the tackle there to promote the ball in the collision.
This is fair warning.
But
listen to me. You clap one more decision, and you know where you're going.
Well, all credit to Phil Bentham there, just letting Matt Diskin know who's the boss, and he doesn't want his decisions questioning. And his decisions up to now, Dave, have been pretty good.
Manley has come a long way off his wing to get involved early in the play here. Down the middle, we've seen both St Helens wingers very much employed in a central role at times in this game.
Second, move.
Cunningham. There's plenty of options and finds, and chooses the one of Wilkin, who flew through the initial gap, but it closed quickly enough. Cunningham again. Now Clough. St Helens can be so quick from dummy half, so able to create so much momentum down the middle, but not without the ball. Bolatua and Graham combining clumsily.
Yes, it's a play that St Helens use frequently. Mick Protter really has introduced this into their game, and it's just a little two-play from the forwards, but very good pressure there from Matt Diskin as Bolatua received the ball. He received the defender, and that pressure caused the breakdown in skill. Some good defence there from the Rhinos.
I don't know if you noticed that, but 11 sets of possession St Helens have had so far. To Leeds is 7. The fact that St Helens have completed almost more than Leeds have had the ball so far.
Yeah, but as we saw in the first game, David, it's an 80-minute game.
And there are those coaches who say, ignore that kind of stat, aren't there? You know, I mean, who cares if you've got the ball? If you don't do anything with it, it's what you do with it that matters, not necessarily how long you keep hold of it.
Yeah, there's different coaching philosophies, and some coaches willing to chance their arm more than others, shall we say.
Burrow was taken high. And for the first time, the diminutive scrum half finds himself tackled rather uncomfortably around the jaw area.
Yeah, really does take the line on Rob Burrow, and no doubt about it. There's a sandwich there between Wilkin and Graham. I think it was John Wilkin adjudged to have gone high correctly once again by the official, Mr. Bentham.
This, by the way, is the 8th time these two teams have met in the Challenge Cup. In the last 10 years, they are unfamiliar foes in this competition, but it tends to be the later stages when they've met previously. 4 times they have met in semi-finals in those last 10 years. It's Diskin still operating from dummy half. Here's Maguire. Gibson, again the hands are quick, and Donald's quicker to a foot. It was Leon Price this time who got across to make the tackle. A timely intervention, but it's Leeds who now have possession. Ablett again, just trying to take them on, but finding equal force from Hargreaves and Graham in terms of resistance. Sinfield, short and flat to Burgess. Sticks to that close. Diskin bundles it away. It was good footwork from Ablett, and quick thinking too. Here's Sinfield with the ball behind, and Jamie Jones Buchanan has run it well, but has he got it down? Has he got that down?
Onside, offside and grounding, please.
Well, the first question was whether he's onside, but I think there's a big question mark about whether he actually got the ball down or not.
Yeah, once again it came from, shall we say, unusual play when Ablett just put boot to ball. It was untidy, as you saw from Matt Diskin there, just offload the ball, boot to ball. It just breaks your concentration for that second defensively. But Sinfield analysed the situation, just looked up, read the situation. He's certainly onside, is Jamie Jones Buchanan. Put it behind Gidley, and it looks to me as if he's grounded that. That's a very good try. Quick thinking from Sinfield, read the situation superbly well, and he's got control, he's got downward pressure. That's a very, very good try indeed. And you've got to acknowledge Jamie Jones Buchanan's role in that. He was very alert indeed, but I'm giving big credit there to Kevin Sinfield, who just read the situation superbly well for this. I'm sure it will be given as a try.
Well, Gidley's attempted defending was terrific, but not quite good enough. And the try is given, and it's all square again.
Absolutely great work from Sinfield. The ball hit the ground there, and it just, you clock off there for that odd second. That's when Sinfield analysed the situation, weighed all the situation up in the blink of an eye. Beautiful kick through and great finish from Jones Buchanan.
Well, he was convinced, wasn't he? He, being the closest to the situation, knew that he got the ball down, and Sinfield now with the chance to add the two and give Leeds the lead, which they have now for the first time this afternoon, responding to Lady Gardner's earlier try. Leeds have pushed their noses ahead. Sinfield very much the architect and the completer of that scoring passage of play.
Yeah, the goal kicking very, very important, Dave, and you honestly feel with St Helens' first choice goal kicker Sean Long being out of the team, if it does come down to goal kicks, you might well just fancy the Leeds Rhinos, because Sinfield is a very, very accurate kicker of the ball.
Well, to get the restart away, and it's patched by Webb, and here comes Peacock, and Graham went in with the shoulder to international colleagues. Maguire. It's Burgess. It's Luke Burgess and Sam Burgess. They've got two younger twin brothers who are, I think they're about 15 now, and they are just as big as their older brothers, so there might come a day when a Great Britain pack might be full of Burgess players, Burgess brothers.
It'll make your job easy then, Dave.
It's picked up by Diskin. It was a little scruffy at the play the ball, but taken on by Peacock. They've already reached tackle 5 here.
Just caught in there.
So Sinfield is rushed at by Cunningham, who knew what was coming. Sinfield's kick was not what he planned, but gets it away nonetheless, only for Helens to patch and bring it back, making too much ground.
That's quality kick pressure, was it, from Kieran Cunningham there, and it forced an indifferent kick from Kevin Sinfield. Had to kick off his left foot, and it allowed Helens to bring the ball back almost as far as it kicked the ball.
And there's a new dynamism now added to this St Helens side, because you might have spotted there, Cunningham's gone off, and it means that James Roby, the man who's standing at dummy half, has taken over that duty. And although Cunningham is the real master of dummy half play, James Roby gives them that extra pace and zip now, doesn't he?
Well, it's a contrast in styles. Cunningham's a very, very strong, aggressive guy, and Roby's absolutely lightning.
Good hands here, Flanagan gets it away, and Gidley now is racing free, and Gardner's on his outside. It's a forward pass. How many times have they gone through that routine and ended up with a try, and yet somehow Matt Gidley has thrown it forward.
Well, it was a very, very well-created team opportunity, and well, the referee is exactly in line with that, and I'll go with the referee there. But very well creative again, just put the ball to the back man. Price again using a lead runner, pick the back man, and then it was a 2v1 situation, and normally you'd put your drink down and start applauding at that point, but Mr. Bentham in superb position, and a forward pass adjudicated.
And holds goal.
Well, technically, it's so difficult to explain that, isn't it? That if the hands are pointed backwards, because of course anyone who's done O-level physics or GCSE physics will know that an object leaves a travelling object at the same speed. So sometimes the ball ends up forward, but isn't necessarily thrown forward. But the referee decided on that occasion it was. Leeds are giving it away here. Look at that.
Yes, I mean, St Helens dominating territory, dominating possession, but Leeds have got the most vital stat in their favour, that on the scoreboard.
Roby gets it away to Wilkin, who's rushed at by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, who anticipated well, but Wilkin is strong enough to push off the initial challenge.
On Luke.
Dealt with there.
Luke, come on.
15 yards out, it's Graham who takes it on, and Graham with the short flat pass to Kalis, who's on from the bench. St Helens again with that pitter-patter style of kept it alive. It's touched the Leeds player because the tackle count has gone back to 1, so St Helens have another 6 tackles to come here. Gardner, eventually the tackle is made. Now that's the 0 tackle, so tackles start now. 6 tackles from now for St Helens. Roby with a little pick-up and a little kick to the in-goal area, which Webb gets, but can't get out. That was a bit of a gamble by Roby, wasn't it?
It was a massive gamble on tackle 1. You've got great field position, you camped on the Leeds line, and James Roby took the odds there. A little kick through for himself, not for anybody else, a piece of individual play, and he got away with it because he managed to tackle Brent Webb in his in-goal area. And when you do that, it's a drop out from underneath the post, and you regain possession. So another set of 6 for St Helens in good field position.
It's a high calibre encounter between two sides who are playing at the top of their form here, as Clough will take it forward.
First, move, hold Leeds, wait,
Roby,
wait, go.
He's the man at dummy half. Here's Pullatur. Maguire's doing a decent enough job, and with the help of Gibson over there.
Move, wait, go.
Tackle is completed. Roby picks up again.
Carl, come on.
Wilkin, Clough and Wilkin. Back now to Kalis. Kalis with a step back on the inside. Suggestion of obstruction, a glance or two from one or two Leeds players, but not given. Here comes Roby from dummy half, and James Roby. That's what they pay him for. That kind of effect. Off like lightning out of dummy half, and Leeds' defence rocked backwards, couldn't readjust, and St Helens have their second try.
Well, it's a well-rehearsed script, isn't it? Kieran Cunningham starts the game 20-25 minutes on. James Roby comes in off the bench, and when he comes off the bench, inevitably he makes an impression. And there we've got it there, the question mark from some people about obstruction. I believe the referee got it right, but the Rhinos' defence was virtually static, and Roby just picked up. He took the space, he went where the space was, got behind the ruck area. Beautiful footwork as well as he approached the Leeds defensive line, which allowed his strength to carry him over. That's a superb try out of dummy half from James Roby, and as you rightly say, Dave Woods, that's his job, and that's what they send him on the field for.
Well, memorably, he was the man who scored the first try back at the new Wembley, didn't he, when St Helens went and beat Catalan Dragons back a couple of years ago, James Roby. Paul Wellens might not be the most proficient goal kicker at the St Helens club, but this should present no real problems, and it doesn't. And Mick Potter, the St Helens coach, will be feeling a little more relaxed about the situation now.
Yeah, look how quickly he took off there. He realised that the markers were very tight, stood very tight to the man playing the ball, and took full advantage. And that's a superb try. Opportunist try, individual try, and a great try.
Sinfield again is the man who's charged with the responsibility of getting things underway. There's a little bit of an awkward bounce, but St Helens deal with it well enough. Damien Johnson, he's down on the touchline.
Move!
Well, he is there, you can trust us, but he's not quite ready to speak to us. That's the only problem. And we will hear from him very shortly.
Move!
Roby's moved up to acting half again here. Graham.
Third. Move!
There's Roby again. Little engine purring as he moves from tackle to tackle. It's a difficult role to play, isn't it, dummy half? You're constantly on the move, constantly thinking about the game.
It is the intervals fast of a low now as well, so it's the next one to generate a bit of intensity into the game now. The big prop forward comes on round about the 30-minute mark.
Here's Price. High it goes. Webb, dazzled maybe by the sunshine, arms outstretched, catches it well enough. And Flannery makes the tackle.
Very good kick chase, isn't it, from the St Helens team? Every time the ball goes to the air, the whole defensive line put the foot down and chase, and that stops any problem there from Webb. Webb's just happy to field the ball and take the tackle.
There is Webb involved from dummy half. Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Into the St Helens half, but it's taken 5 tackles for Badeiras to get there. Again on from the bench, another significant change. Kick is taken by Helens. It's a decent chase by Leeds. With the tackle. Damien!
Former Saints player, now on the backup staff here. Mike, you can't take your eyes off this.
No, it's brilliant at the moment. 2 very good teams battling it out.
James Roby, a classic intervention from him a moment ago.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the defences are both brilliant from both sets of teams, and it's coming down to individual skill. The kick from Simfield to open up the defence, and also James Roby's run.
Thanks, Mike.
Cheers.
That's Kalis, who's up 10 yards short of the halfway line.
Dan, come on.
Roby, Graham.
Danny.
The work rate of James Graham is unbelievable, isn't it, Dave? I mean, he's been out there from minute 1, and he just never stops. He's relentless doing his job in that middle channel.
Play on.
Here's Webb. Dangerous to allow him any room in which to run. No room was given, and Ryan Hall has dealt with well enough.
Move and hold.
The impressive thing about James Graham is a penalty here for Leeds. They're hanging on too long, St Helens. The impressive thing about James Graham as well is he's only 23 years of age. And in prop forward terms, that is very junior. He's very much a kindergarten prop, isn't he?
He's a very good prop, I know that, and he'll develop into an even better one as well with a couple of years' experience on his back, and an outstanding prospect for the future.
And a Scouser, a fully fledged Scouser.
Hold Saints.
Playing for St Helens.
First. Move.
Kirk. Who's, another who's arrived from the interchange bench. Badeiras. Maguire. And it's Ali Lauatiti. And it will be a penalty for Leeds. 15 yards inside the St Helens half. And we talked about, James Roby, his impression that he can make on this game, but the fact that Badeiras is on now, for many years rated as the world's best hooker, the Australian, the fact that he's on here, he can have a real impact on this game as well, can't he?
He can, as Ali Lauatiti can as well. They've obviously put him in that right channel to try and get to Gilmore and Price, so it'll be very interesting to see.
It's Kirk who's put down just inside the 20. As you can see, just over 7 minutes left to play here in this first half as Webb turns it on to Senior. Senior gets it on again to Hall. St Helens desperately coming across to cut down the options. It's Burrow. It's Burgess. Farsavalu around the legs. Pullatur round the chest. But one or both came from an offside position.
Well, it's 3 quick-fire penalties, isn't it, from Phil Bentham here, so the Rhinos will be looking to take advantage of this.
Here's Maguire dancing and stepping. Lauatiti desperately looking for a way through, but thwarted. But there are still tackles in the bank here for Leeds. Badeiras spins it away. Roby might just have been put off by the advancing Gidley. Whatever the reason, he's uncharacteristically dropped the ball, and the opportunity slips away.
Yeah, when you've got very skillful players, which we have out there on the field at the minute, the way you test that skill is by putting it under pressure. And I think Matt Gidley, it took a real chance there, flew out of the defensive line there to try and put pressure on Rob Burrow, and succeeded. And I think Rob Burrow's just feeling that half a chance has gone a begging.
Working with a feed, Roby, who packed down at loose forward, plays it on to Farsavalu, who comes running away. Last time Murray Farsavalu came up against Leeds, he ended up with a broken nose, courtesy of Ryan Bailey's shoulder. Decided by the disciplinary panel that it wasn't illegal, but Bailey is still missing today because of injury, rather than any suspension. Here's Wilkin. How have St Helens switched things here? Now that Roby's on, have they switched their pivots? Are we looking at Wilkin playing a different role, or is he still playing that same role?
No, he's still playing the same role, and Roby's just operating from dummy half. They've still got Price and Wilkin as the 2 pivots. Interestingly though, James Gray has just taken his first breather today.
Roby, back to Price. Price was flattened as he got the kick away. Nothing too untoward.
No, it's a decent kick, but an even better chase as well, and Leon Price just readjusted into the defensive line.
Here comes Burgess, not rather on that right centre's position, Ashley Gibson. Now Webb.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, though. He just committed to that.
Hold! Third! Move! Wait, that's Chris! Wait!
Badiris in at dummy half again here. It's Lawatiti. 4 tackles gone, 2 to come. Leeds looking to make ground here. Burgess. As Burrow throws it out to this left-hand side, and Hall found his way blocked impressively by covering St Helens' defence. 6 tackle. Burrow inside to Maguire, further inside to Sinfield, switching that play to get away from that desperate defensive chase, but Sinfield's kick is taken well by Wellens. Oh, and the step is good as well.
Yeah, it's playing really well, Paul Wellens, but it's caught with an header there.
And it's given away to Maguire. Maguire out to Donald on that far side. St Helens' defence looking to just realign itself as quickly as possible. Badiris now back inside as Lawatiti takes it forward.
Now it's Leeds, isn't it, Dave, with the full set on the St Helens line.
It would be a very good time to score from their point of view, with half-time looming. Luluai 5 yards out. Badiris a dummy half. Back to Burrow, a high looping pass, and then the ball that would have put Jamie Jones-Buchanan in came instead off a St Helens hand, which has given Leeds another 6 tackles here. Once this tackle is completed, it'll be 6 tackles from here and a chance to hit this line. It's Lawatiti. They've been here before and yet given it away. Badiris. Gibson looking to try and work his way back on the inside, but not able to do so. Scooped away towards Maguire, but beyond him, picked up off the bounce by Sinfield, back on the inside to Kirk, and Kirk tried to hammer his body through the line, but opposed well enough. Badiris, now Burrow, inside run. Webb came herring through, but well spotted. Badiris again now, untidy stuff, and Luluai has knocked it on. Well, it looked as though it might have gone backwards, but the referee was absolutely certain it was knocked on, and St Helens' line escapes again.
Yeah, just a little bit of a misunderstanding there from Badiris. Selected the wrong man there to pass the ball to Sinfield and Luluai, the ball going between them. Luluai put the ball down. It just looked as well as if there was a chink appeared on the St Helens line with those 2 little inside plays. But it's great defence. St Helens' online defence has been absolutely first class.
And it is only the 2nd game that Danny Badiris has played for Leeds this season, isn't it? He's only played once before because of injury problems. So there is going to be a lack of communication at times on the field with his teammates.
Well, he won't sit as comfortably in the side until he's played sort of half a dozen games. And but he is a quality rugby league player, Dave, no doubt about it.
Wait, Ian. Go.
This is Roby. Pulatua taking them on himself.
4. Held!
Well, he's certainly big enough to, isn't he?
Go.
Roby again.
Play on, he's square. He's square.
Jones-Buchanan was okay in that defensive position. He was square, according to the referee.
5. Move.
So St Helens have reached their 5th title and still short of the halfway line. Wilkin inside the 40 when he gets that kick away. Now, if that goes out of play, which it has given St Helens the head and feed. The rule in rugby league is that when a side kicks from within inside their own 40, if it bounces out of play beyond the opposition's 20-yard line, then it is they who get the head and feed and will almost certain get possession. It's a wonderful attacking ploy.
It's a marvellous piece of skill as well when you look at John Wilkins' positioning. His right foot, which was the foot that was planted, was just inside the 40-metre line, and it was a beautiful kick, followed it through with his left foot, and it just bounced into touch towards the corner. It wasn't actually 40-20, it was a 40-10 really, that one. It was so good.
He's taken on this role of halfback very well, hasn't he, John Wilkin, today?
He's a very clever player, Dave, he really is, and is underrated, and I'm sure other teams undervalue him, but I'm certain that St Helens don't.
Picked up by Roby from the back of the scrum. Here's Price. St Helens primed to strike. Wellens 15 yards away from where they want to be. They'll just about get through this set before the hooter sounds, unless they score first of all. As Matty Ashurst, the last of the interchange players to come on from the bench, is held up just a yard or two short. It's back with Wilkin. Here's Price. Jones Buchanan rushes out, but St Helens keep it alive. Flannery. Leeds defence is good enough. Gidley picks up now. A probing run by him. The kick indicated to Wilkie where he was going to go. Maguire saw the indication too and got back to just relieve the situation.
Marvellous defence there from Danny Maguire. Read that kick to perfection. It was in the defensive line. I think it was 3 in from the wingman, and he just dropped out that defensive line and wrapped it up without a problem.
Well, the time is up. The hooter has sounded, and the referee wasn't sure of that, but eventually he gets a word in his ear. In amongst all this noise, maybe he hadn't heard it, but it is a half-time hooter sounding, which means that Leeds have got a little bit of relief when it looked as though they were under pressure. It's a marvellous game, and it's been a marvellous half from St Helens' point of view. They lead Leeds by 10 points to 6.
Wonder if it will be a piece of individual brilliance that will set this game alight, that will settle the result of this fourth round Challenge Cup tie.
They find themselves as a pair at the summit of Super League. It's a modern day phenomenon that these two are the dominant sides, but over the years they have had a real pedigree between them. 20 times Leeds have been in a Challenge Cup final and won 11. 21 times St Helens have been in a Challenge Cup final and won 12. One of these at least is not going to get there this year.
Second.
St Helens defending that admirable record of having held this trophy for the last 3 consecutive years. They did it in 06 at Twickenham against Huddersfield, in 07 back at Wembley against Catalan, and 08 against Hull at Wembley as well. But are Leeds going to stop them in their tracks at the very first time of asking this time around? It's Maguire, and again those evasive skills are on show, but not quite good enough to get him through. But Leeds are keeping alive, and Webb in support, and the pass from Kirk. But they're running out of tackles, one to come. Here's Burrow, drills it back down the middle. Wellens a little flat-footed as he goes after that. The bounce takes him further away. Maguire was there to chase and make the tackle, and it'll be a dropout underneath the sticks. A perfect start by Leeds.
Yeah, that was an excellent set of 6. They asked some questions with ball in hand, with a couple of offloads there, but that little kick there from Rob Burrow against the grain really was facing the left-hand corner, and he put the ball right across the face of the post. Lovely piece of skill there. Made Wellens move to it, and a great chase from Maguire, and that chase has earned his side a repeat set of 6, another set of 6, because St Helens will have to drop out from underneath the post.
Well, the quality of the kick was measured by the fact that Wellens is normally such a brilliantly well-positioned full-back, and the fact that he had to run so far shows you how good the kick was. And the effects are here to see. Leeds in position A. Kirk.
Move!
4 tackles to come, but they are within the 20-metre mark. Baderas from dummy half. Well, that's a poor pass by him, but it's a knock-on by Gardner. It'll be first knock-on, surely, and Leeds his head and feed. Yes, it is.
He'll be very disappointed, Eddie Gardner. It was a loose pass there from Baderas, just dipping as it went towards Rob Burrow, and Eddie Gardner will be unhappy with himself. He'll have felt he should have cleaned that one up. Risk giving Leeds another set of 6, and this scrum is just 40 metres away from the St Helens goal line.
Key moments here. Senior with a dummy run. Maguire deep behind him has the chance to take a few more steps and a few more moments to be making his decision. The decision was to pass to Brent Webb, but he's mopped up by those in white and red. Here's Lauatiti.
Second.
They know how much he loves to get the arm free. Farsavalu was just grasping hold. Baderas, not quite as sharp as he might be today. Jones Buchanan.
Move!
Stretching St Helens one way. And further still into the hands of Hall. One-handed pass by him to Kirk. Maguire thought about the kick. Maybe tries to tease St Helens into that suggestion. Instead runs it, passes. Lawatiti, 3 on, still gets it away brilliantly. Burrow on again to Luluai.
4.
The pressure is being built here. Every move, another turn of the screw. Baderas out to Sinfield. Sinfield wide to Senior.
5.
Gidley
Move.
and Gardner
Go.
there to good effect. It's Judge Buchanan down the blind side. It might have been the wrong decision to take. He has lost the ball and St Helens have escaped.
Well, we speak about Gidley and Gardner as an attacking force, but that was Gidley and Gardner as a defensive force there. Absolutely superb. The tackle before, they were excellent. They read the play superbly well. And then obviously they were alert to that short side play from Jones Buchanan, and forced him towards the sideline and forced the error.
And they've had their moments, Leeds, haven't they? They've had their positions, and maybe on too many occasions they've failed to deliver from those positions so far.
Well, I wouldn't be too harsh on Leeds. I'd be more admiring and complimenting the St Helens goal line defence, which I think has been phenomenal today.
Here's Kalis.
4. Move. Wait, Ian.
Roby just having a little glance right and left before picking it up and picking it out to Mori Fasavalu, who's the victim of a little bit of rough treatment by those Leeds defenders, which Phil Bentham doesn't like.
Yes, right, the first contact there is above the shoulder.
No reaction to it, it's good.
And Mori Fasavalu very well disciplined there. He did cop a wallop in the previous Super League encounter, but just took the penalty and said, let's get on with the game.
On way, lads.
Cop a wallop, I love that phrase. Here comes Kalis. Again, hammering it in.
Move!
St Helens, having survived, now have a chance to build at the other end. Roby, little dummy from dummy half. Fasavalu was the dummy runner. Wilkin pulls it in. Price, quick hands, maybe didn't think too much about it. Referee glares and says that's okay, play on. Gilmore tidies up and does better than that to offload to Fasavalu. Leeds are being stretched here. Gidley bumps off Burrow. Senior's there to provide the reinforcements. Gardner. Here's Wilkin. This is Fasavalu. Oh, and a good offload by him, albeit a little untidy.
Right here.
Claims from the stand on the far side that there was a knock on there from Gardner, but referee says play on. Here's Price. Strong and elusive down the middle.
Come on, Kylie, keep working. Well back.
Pulatua bending his long back to activate the dummy half roll. Had it stolen away when there was more than one in the tackle. You can steal it, but only if there's one defender there. There were 2 defenders there, so penalty to St Helens.
Well, it'd be very interesting to see this, Dave. Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, the rule is that if someone is involved at the tackle, even if they drop off, they are still involved.
There's nobody involved there, and the ball comes free here. I think that's a very, very harsh decision, that one. There's no one involved there. No one involved there. Ball's free now. That's a harsh decision. And it's a soft 2 points out for Saints. I think Mr. Bentham is one of the few today that he's got wrong, but I think that's one of them.
St Helens have the chance to extend their lead to a significant 6 points. If Wellens puts this over, which he has, it means that a try and a goal would only put Leeds level now. St Helens are just getting a little bit of a comfortable gap between themselves and this Leeds side. The word comfort is, of course, relative. There's nothing too comfortable about this game, is there?
It's one score, and that can be changed in the blink of an eye, Dave. It's a fascinating game of rugby league, it really is, and James Graham's back out there, and he's had a long time off the field for him, so re-enter the field of playing. Pretty good kick-off, fielded by Gardner.
They got a lucky bounce there, didn't they, St Helens? Had that gone out of play, it would have given Leeds back possession inside the St Helens half, but as it is, Saints have a chance to bring it out. Graham providing the role of bulldozer. Kalis is the man who's just walked to the sidelines for his spell, having a bit of a rest. We'll see him again, no doubt. Ashurst gets it out. Gilmore onto Melly. Melly has to cut back on the inside, knowing that the touchline was looming. Here's Roby. This is Wilkin, who's having ever such a good game today. Price now. Again with a half dummy and then tries to put his foot down the middle.
Move! And wait. Go.
Here's Roby. Back it goes to Wilkin again.
Hold on.
The chip through. Webb watches it, collects it and turns. And sees a wall of white and red, which is impenetrable.
Yeah, it's been excellent. I've been really impressed with how John Wilkins taken to this this pivotal role in the Saints team. He really has directed the teams around the field well. And I think Leon Price at half-time will have been whispered in the ear from Mick Potter to take the liner mode off, because already twice this half it has done, and he's made half a break.
Move!
There's Peacock,
Okay, put out.
adding a bit of muscle. A bit of a soft shoe shuffle by Loatiti and a release of the ball which keeps it alive as well, which makes St Helens defence work. And Wilkin with a thumping tackle on Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Peacock again striding forward with real purpose, and away to Burrow. Burrow scurries and scampers and sees the gap, finds it and glides through. There's no one in support, he'll have to do it himself, and he can't. But my word, he's given his side a real position here with one tackle to go. It's Sinfield with a dummy, trying to put the foot down, offloads, picked up by Maguire. Maguire arches round again. Here comes Badeiros, and it's Wilkin who's back there to make the tackle heroically to deny Leeds.
Well, what magnificent attacking play from Rob Burrow. He created something out of nothing there with footwork, evasive skills and speed. But then I've got to admire the St Helens defence. Look at them pouring back. They're all over the place, but it's just their desire and the commitment to each other that held this Leeds attack firm. Absolutely great break from Rob Burrow, but outstanding scramble defence from St Helens.
If someone's going to take the Challenge Cup off them this season, St Helens, then their fingers will have to be prized off the trophy. They have got such a firm grip. 97% tackle completion by St Helens. That is a terrific statistic. And that's a great kick again by Wilkin. He's having an outstanding game today. It's another of those 40-20s, and it means that suddenly St Helens have another attacking position.
Well, what a piece of skill there from John Wilkin. Just inside the 40, planted the foot. Textbook technique there as he follows through with the kicking foot, and he's directed it perfectly inside the Leeds 20-metre zone, and that will give St Helens head and feed and a tilt at this Leeds Rhinos line. Great skill.
Here comes Price now. Price behind the line to Wellens. Wellens will go himself and score. It started with a boot of Wilkin. It finished in the safe hands of Paul Wellens. And St Helens are beginning to dominate. Leeds are being subdued. It's a terrific performance.
Absolutely sensational performance from St Helens. We complimented the scramble defence, and at the end of that centre six at 40-20, then what a beautiful scrum play here. Lots of movement around the ball. It confused the Leeds defence. The Leeds defence just opened up for that split second. Paul Wellens on the arcing run round the back of the Leeds runner. Two-handed carry, kept Scott Donald's guessing until he just had enough time to cross the line. First-class play there from Paul Wellens. I think he's just signalling spot on, and the move was spot on. Well done, Paul Wellens, but well done, John Wilkin, for creating that field position. That was the killing play.
Well, as a coach, I'm sure very often you'll give players a different role to play in the game, a new responsibility to take on in a game, and you're never quite sure how they react. Well, if that was the case with Mick Potter today, whether there was a doubt about whether John Wilkin could rise to the moment of playing at standoff, that pivotal role for Saints today, all questions erased now. He has raised his game terrifically today, John Wilkin. Wellens' conversion attempt is missed. He doesn't add the two to his earlier four. But St Helens leading 16-6, and it is becoming a more significant lead now.
Great scrum play, wasn't it there? Leon Price taking the ball right to the line. Lead run on the coming short. Paul Wellens arcing round the back. Just bought himself enough time, but a very good try. But that guy is having an absolute wow of a game, John Wilkin. Playing out of position, I don't think it matters where he plays. He's a great player.
Well, we know that Leeds will come back. We know that Leeds will at least produce a response here. that they will have moments in the game when they will be in the ascendancy on attack. So St Helens are far from winners just yet, but they are edging themselves closer to that position.
My word, it's a high-quality rugby league outfit, isn't it, the team in red and white? They really are. They know the jobs, they're carrying them to perfection.
There's Graham.
Shoulder. And wait.
Short of the halfway line.
Go.
Roby. Price. Again a duck and then a dart.
Move. Go.
Six tackle. Here's Wilkin.
James.
And the kick is not the best on this occasion.
Yeah, I got it.
Caught by Donald.
Hang on.
But Wilkin getting up to make the tackle.
Well, that's been one of his features as well. We've complimented him on his offensive work, but his defensive work's been sensational, John Wilkin.
Let's hear from Damien. Damien's on the touchline.
I think we've seen the last of Jason Kalis for the day, Dave. He's got an ice pack on his shoulder, his left shoulder injured in an early. The doctor and the physio attending. I think he's out of the game.
Well, that's a blow. Coaches like to spell their props. Give them 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, and then get them off and rest them. But Kalis, if he doesn't come back, means that someone else is going to have to take on a bit more of the workload. Here's Maguire. Well, that was cheeky. But he's got the offload. Six tackle coming up.
Yes, a penalty. Good decision by the referee. He was facing the sidelines. He must be facing upstream towards a post to play the ball. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan endeavouring to bring the ball back into play as quickly as possible while St Helens were on the back foot. Played it incorrectly, and again Mr Benton's got that one right, and it's relief for St Helens as Leeds were in possession of the ball.
Here's an easy question. The answer's tough, but how does a coach now sit there and think, how do we stop this happening? How does the Leeds coach try to change the dynamism of this game from here?
Well, he's attempted to do that with one action recently. He's brought Matt Diskin back out there for Danny Badeiras, so there's always the interchange bench you can look towards, or you can perhaps start chancing your arm a little more when you're 10 points down, but that's a very risky strategy with 25 minutes left against St Helens.
Saints building position again. Still three tackles to come as Cunningham from dummy half hands it on to Wilkin and back to Price, and Price with a little dummy and finds himself held up.
Move.
It's not quite been the influence you'd normally expect from Leon Price today, but that could be because of the dominating role being played by John Wilkin, as Hargreaves takes it to within 5 yards of that Leeds line. There's one tackle still to come here. Cunningham up from half. Out it goes, Wilkin throws it wide, Gidley using his winger as a foil and fooling those two Leeds defenders to slide between and score another try that edges St Helens ever closer to their ultimate goal.
Superb try once again, and that time it was Kieran Cunningham engineering it, just re-entered the field of play after James Roby's very, very impressive spell, and it shows onto the inside. There's some space on the outside. We'll look there. Wilkin out to Gidley. Gidley two-handed carry, confusing Burrow and Ryan Hall. But this time he doesn't use A.D. Gardner. He decides to show and go low and over the try line. Great try from Matt Gidley once again, and great vision from Cunningham. Change the point of attack. Good skill from Wilkin. Outstanding skill from Gidley.
Well, between them now, Gidley and Gardner, it is 11 tries in this, their 8th appearance of the season. They are an irresistible force. Look, in the modern game, you think about Shontaine Happy and Leslie Vinocola when they were paired together at Bradford just a few years ago. How damaging those pair could be. Now, this is a partnership that is very similar, of course.
Or Jamie Lyon and A.D. Gardner.
There are many St Helens fans who would tell you that Jamie Lyon is he's an absolute legend. And Matt Gidley sometimes suffers a little badly in comparison, doesn't he? But he too is a quality player. Wellens misses again. 6 points to 20 is the scoreline.
Superb work, is it? And Wilkin involved once again, but it's not just that right centre wing combination of Gidley Gardner. And as you rightly say, Jamie Lyon is held as a legend in St Helens, but I think that centre wing combination is even better than the Lyon Gardner one.
That's a big call. 14 points the difference. In scoring terms, it means that Leeds have to score 3 tries now.
Second. Move.
And not concede again. That's a key feature of the situation. Here's Graham.
Third. Move. Jamie.
Cunningham.
Go back, Ken.
Flannery right down the middle. Jones Buchanan and Kirk, but Flannery still gets it away. Cunningham bustling on again.
Move.
He, of course, has come on and replaced Roby earlier in this half. It's Price. You can see the pace they're building now from dummy half and keeping it alive. Down the middle, they still plough. Graham rolls it on again. And it is all about rolling.
Move.
Just picking up the pace from dummy half and moving down the middle.
Go.
Here comes tackle 6. Wilkins' kick. Chipped. Who's going to claim this? Nobody there with any authority, but eventually falls into the hands of Ryan Hall.
Yeah, once again, it was a testing kick from John Wilkin, and as you rightly identified, Dave, they really did try to pick the pace up, and I just sense a little bit of fatigue creeping into the Rhinos' defence, because St Helens certainly, I believe, have dominated possession in this second half.
Crowd here, by the way, it's very nearly a full house at Headingley, 17,689, as Melly does his work in defence to put Donald out of play, and nothing Leeds can do can change things here.
No, and that 61% to 39% possession is really taking its toll on the Rhinos. That was a poor decision offensively, and that may well have come through fatigue from Alan Autiti. Gave Scott Donald no real room to work in, and when you're against a player the size of Francis Melly, one thing that you do need is a bit of space, a bit of room to endeavour to avoid his imposing presence.
Significance of the crowd size, by the way, it's since the reformatting of the Challenge Cup back in 1994, this is a new record since that time. So in the last 15 years, the biggest crowd for a 4th round tie, 17,689, and every one of them absolutely gripped by the contest. Leeds fans a little down in the mouth at the moment, but knowing that their side are capable of responding.
Wait.
But they need to see that soon, with 20 minutes left to play. Here's Gibson.
First. Move.
Yeah, St Helens, look at how efficient they've been with their completion rate, but they haven't just completed in a boring way. They've asked questions.
Oh, here's Senior. Terrific play by Keith Senior. Down he goes onto Webb, and Webb hops away from the challenge of Roby and touches down. He may be in his vintage years, but that was a senior moment that tells you he's still capable of producing the best. Wonderful centre play by Keith Senior, finished by Webb. We have a game on our hands again.
Well, when your backs are against the walls, you need your star players to put their hand up and come up with a great play. And that's what this is. We've complimented Matt Gidley, but Keith Senior's got the ball in the left hand, swatted him away with the right hand fend, hit the gas, and then Brent Webb, as all good fullbacks should be, supported on the inside for an absolutely superb try. But that's Keith Senior's try, really. He created it with his skill there and his strength in fending Gidley off. But it was Webb's superb support play that crossed the whitewash, and now we have got a game on our hands.
Sinfield's kicked the goal, 12 points to 20. The scoring difference comes down to 8 points. 2 tries would give Leeds the lead, providing at least one was converted.
And what a superb, it's an absolute classic piece of centre play, completely different to Gidley's type of centre play. That was down to strength and power and pace, and a bit of good support at the end of it from Brent Webb. An outstanding try, and it's given those spectators some real hope.
Well, we've already seen the effect of momentum in a game of rugby league today. A wonderful description of that in the first game, when Bradford, having led 26-0, lost momentum and lost the game 40-38.
First. Move.
And Leeds now will feel they've got a bit of momentum here.
Well, the momentum went to St Helens, David, when Saints got the majority of the possession. Well, if Leeds can start to dominate a bit of possession, you never know what can happen, because they've certainly got some good players out there.
Here's Burrow. Burgess, over the head of Burrow. Jamie Jones Buchanan back to mop things up. Here's Webb. Leeds
Move.
Just regaining a little bit of self-belief. Diskin from dummy half. Maguire round Graham. Sachets away from the challenge of Wilkin. Maguire still going. Over the top for Senior. Wilkin had continued the run to make sure the tackle was good. Here's Webb. Peacock.
Move. Go.
Six tackle. Sinfield
Play on.
tries to measure the kick. Melly, good take. Good take, despite the fact that Loatiti was there. Not only a good take, but a good clearing run as well that hasn't finished yet. Melly with a sidestep. Maguire with a tackle.
Well, that's one of the plays of the game, that from Francis Melly. Really is. Penalty rightly given there. Interference at the play. They want to try and slow Melly down. But that's one of the plays of the game. A great take under intense pressure. But he not only claims the ball, he then busts through a couple of tackles, carries the ball for 40 metres or so before he's illegally slowed there with a tug at the leg. Absolutely sensational play from Francis Melly.
Stars all over the field.
Sorry, mate.
Got an extra ball on the field at the moment, so they're going to have to take their time with the tap restart.
Here will do, lads.
Kieran Cunningham won't mind that because he can get a bit more breath in those aging lungs of his.
First.
Kieran Cunningham, such a star in St Helens, they're going to put a statue above him.
Go.
Here he comes, Cunningham. Oh, Roby was caught high. Burgess connected.
Luke, leave it, Kieran, leave it, Kieran. Luke.
Nothing intended.
Okay, mate. Yeah, all it is. Obviously, keep it a little bit lower. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously a high shot there. And as I'm with you, I think it was unintentional. It was just a great line that he ran. And he just mistimed the tackle there, Luke Burgess. And I think this is a canny decision from the St Helens camp, just to take the 2 points. And penalty's been very important. Have the 9-4 we just saw on the screen there earlier. And St Helens have really taken full advantage of that. They've had the possession. And if Paul Williams tags this over, this will be the second 2-point penalty they've taken advantage of as well.
Well, there is an element of if as well, because although it's in front of the sticks, we've not seen Paul Williams kick with the ultimate assurance today. Normally this would be easy, and in the end it does make it look that way. 12-22 the scoreline.
Takes the score to Leeds.
Well, it's still winnable for Leeds, but it's a momentous task, it really is. And that play from Melino, it's so important, wasn't it, Dave? Because Leeds were on a roll, they'd built a bit of momentum after that score. He got them the field position then, and then another penalty conceded, and all of a sudden they've taken a bit of wind out of the Leeds sails.
Wilkin takes. Here comes Hargreaves. Still plenty of time for this change, this game rather, to change.
Move!
One way or another.
Come on, Jamie.
15 minutes left. Graham.
Second. Move! Wait. Go.
Cunningham.
Don't go back in, Kev.
Roby, the pair of them together on the pitch now.
Third. Move! Hold.
Cunningham.
Go.
In the role he relishes. Here comes Hargreaves.
4. Move!
It's a very basic set here from St Helens. Safety first, bringing it clear, bringing it downfield, gaining ground. Leon Price.
5.
And now, having got there, they know on the 6 they can kick it deep and make Leeds work very hard to bring it back. That's a good kick from John Wilkin. That's a terrific kick from John Wilkin. Absolutely perfect. Brent Webb gets it out.
And look who's chasing. The chase there by Wilkin as well. Just spoiled himself a little, conceding the penalty, but it was a heck of a kick, and I love to see that. He puts the kick in, and look at the effort there. The second effort is put the kick in. That's not good enough for him. I'm going to put my foot down and chase for all I'm worth. A shame he spoiled it with the penalty, but that's still great play up to that.
That's right, Danny.
He's having quite a game, John Wilkin. Leeds denied the chance to take it quickly here because again there was another ball on the pitch.
First. Move! Go!
This is Diskin. Now Peacock.
Second. Move!
Burrow. Sinfield. Maguire to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and again seniors out there looming and waiting. Offloads it back to Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Third. Move!
Here's Burrow. Sinfield. Taken on by Diskin. Flat stuff from Leeds. Right in the faces of St Helens. Not quite able to punch a hole through yet. Webb. Behind the line to Maguire. Out it goes to Gibson. Gibson just shapes to flick the ball away, but decides that it's possibly too dangerous an option. Maguire. Flattened. Webb was flattened too. And it's Wilkin, inevitably, who comes up with possession.
I think he must have a tick list there of all the skills he needs to go through before the end of the 80 minutes, because now he's diffusing high kicks.
Second. Move!
Gardner brings it away. Here's Cunningham.
Third.
Gidley shaping up and doing a shift down the middle.
Hands out!
This is Wilkin underneath the high kick. Safe pair of hands.
Real important stage of the game, this one, because St Helens will be looking to continue playing with the foot down but close the game out, and Leeds need to score within the next 3 or 4 minutes, really, I think, to make this achievable.
That was a good play in defence from Senior as well, wasn't it? Oh, the kick from Wellens is a little bit scuffed. Scott Donald doesn't decide to make a gamble at taking a little apology, I think, from Wellens to say that wasn't what he really intended to do. Having allowed it to go out and play Donald, it means that his side get head and feed. They form the scrum as quickly as possible to stop the clock, and watchfully, Mick Potter, the St Helens coach, looks on. Doesn't give too many emotions away.
I think he'll be very satisfied, Dave, because as you rightly indicated earlier, they really will take some beat to the St Helens side, because they are so committed to holding on to this Challenge Cup.
It really is a stick or twist situation for these two sides today, isn't it? You know, they're both desperate to win it. Desperate to win it and go all the way through to the Challenge Cup final.
Move! Go on, Kieran.
But equally, if either of these sides goes out today, then they really can concentrate on the Super League as well. Melly. Here's Wellens, being chased by Diskin and Maguire.
First. Move!
Tackle one. Gidley.
Second. Move! Hold.
Here's Roby. Now Gardner. Trying to put the footwork on, but not evading the shoulder of Luke Burgess.
Go.
As the sunshine begins to get a little stronger here as well, the clouds just disappearing.
Move!
Cunningham. Flannery. Again, just doing a very basic job down the middle here, St Helens, carrying the ball to Leeds and inside the territory, and again putting a position on for the kick on the 6th. It's a high one, it's a tester. Webb says, it's mine, and it is. Helens with the first chase.
It's been a good tactic that Mick Potter's asked his players to employ, putting the ball high for Brent Webb. So as he receives the ball, he receives the tackler, and that takes him out of that early part of that centre 6. Very astute coaching there from Mick Potter.
Third. Move!
21 times St Helens have kicked whilst in possession to Leeds' 11. Sinfield.
That's 4.
4 tackles gone, 2 to come.
Go.
Burrow. Leeds needing to strike next, and quickly. Burrow bounces away, swerves away, onto Ablett. Ablett dodges past Graham. 2 onto him, good offload onto Diskin. Diskin trying to force the pass. It hit Leon Price, it will be play on. Ponatur drops on it. Saints back with it.
Well, I wonder if there's a doubt there whether one of the support players from Leeds was held back. That seemed to be what the Leeds players were asking for. Dancing feet from Ablett this time. Lovely little offload. And then it's Diskin trying to pass to the supporting Ashley Gibson, but I don't think really was obstructed. I thought it was he'd let go of the ball.
Working, Luke. Hold. Go.
So perhaps he may well have got away with that, Leon Price.
9 minutes remain.
Hold. Move. 5. Wait. Go. Well done. 40, it's 40. Kick is clear.
Wilkin got the kick away. Webb can this time run it back. Just lobs it into the hands of Scott Donald.
Move! And hold. No.
Here's Peacock.
Second. Move!
Ryan Hall, the winger, picks up a dummy half and has that little scoot.
Third.
They are a good team, this St Helens side, though, aren't they, Dave? Because when they need to be a classy, free-flowing team, they are, but also when they need to go to the attritional stuff, they're pretty good at that as well.
4.
And they have this collective ability to time it right, don't they, in terms of big performances. They were perhaps just a little scrappy early in Super League, but the moment they played against Leeds in the Super League tournament, they suddenly lifted it, and they've certainly lifted it again here today in the Challenge Cup, as Leeds try to find something a little different to break down the resistance.
5. Move, back up.
They've gone through
Go.
5 tackles in so doing, so here comes the last. Maguire again with a measured kick to the corner. Melly strongly underneath it, but Donald makes the tackle, and it will be a drop out underneath the sticks. So all things being equal, Leeds will get another 6 to attack the Saints line.
Yeah, that was an impressive play from Scott Donald there. Good kick, first of all, from Maguire, testing Melly. Melly feeling the ball pretty well, but that's a great chase from Donald there, and he just took Melly into the in-goal area, and that's bought his team another set of 6 tackles with that piece of defensive play.
Helens, rather a chipped dropout, which means that Leeds can start a little further down inside the St Helens half than Saints would have been comfortable with. Badeiras is back on from the bench.
Second, move, go.
Here's Maguire. Burrow. Webb on the outside. Ablett having provided the dummy run. Ryan Hall.
Third, come on, go.
Burrow up there again. Webb's close at hand. It's a flatter pass to Peacock.
4.
And it's a great tackle from Graham. Marvellous tackle there. Shoulder right underneath the ball.
Burrow again. Here's Maguire standing deep. Behind Diskin. Sinfield gets it on. Gibson juggles. Gibson desperately being taken out of play. Trying to keep it in. Unable to do so with any proper effect. And high fives all around from the St Helens defenders. Not for the first time today.
Well, doesn't that just sum up the St Helens play? The commitment to defence. Clever Leeds play there to create the overlap. But Price that time tracking across. And he put the Leeds player, Ashley Gibson, over the sideline. But look at the composure then of Paul Wellens. He just let the ball just drift over the sideline to kill a few more seconds so they could get to the scrum and restart with ball in hand. It's composure, but desperation as well in defence. Quality performance today from St Helens.
It's all right, mate. Time's off, so there's no worries. Stay back.
Here's working with the feed. Farsavalu.
First, move and hold, go. Come on, Ian.
Gilmore.
Second, move, hands out quickly, Ian, eh? Go, it's all right.
Graham.
Third, move. Wait, Danny.
It's a very straightforward approach St Helens have now, isn't it? As you were mentioning before, the attritional approach, just carrying it downfield, just
move. Yeah, Jamie.
Pressing Leeds back, nothing too flashy.
They'll just knock the sets off and try to end up with a good kick deep into the Leeds half. And then once again, they'll rely on the defence to make it a war of attrition for Leeds again.
Here's Wilkin.
Kick is clear.
And again, just always gone straight out of play, has he?
No.
That looked as though it went out on the full. Well, the linesman was a lot closer and obviously said it hadn't.
Well, it's a good job we've got linesman, isn't it, Dave, and not you calling it from up here. Good call there by the touch judge. And again, Wilkin, clever kick, put it out of play, killed a few more seconds.
And who's your man of the match today? Your Carnegie man of the match, if it isn't too much of a secret.
No, I don't think it can be a secret. I think the St Helens commitment to defence has been superb. I think the performance has been outstanding. But there's been one individual there asked to play in an unfamiliar role, and he's done it with such aplomb, and he's done it so well. John Wilkin has walked away with my Carnegie Challenge Cup man of the match.
Well, I'm sure he'll be pleased with his own performance first and foremost today.
First. Move. Go.
Here's Diskin.
Second.
Leeds
Move.
just being forced
Hold.
to try and make the moves here.
Driving forward. Yeah.
It's Maguire.
Third. Move.
Time is slipping
Go.
by, with Leeds having to score at least twice if they're going to rescue this game.
Move. Go.
4 and a bit minutes to play. Badira's out from dummy half. Ablett with a dummy. Gidley with a tackle.
5. Move.
Again so effective.
Go.
Tackle 6. Here's Burrow. Burrow's kick. It's chased by Webb, but it's not where it needed to be, and it'll be attacked back on the 20.
Yeah, again, Paul Wellens showing great composure. Question asked there with a little kick through, and he just shepherded over the dead ball line.
Move.
And I don't think you'll see many passes in this set of 6 from St Helens.
Here comes Gilmore.
Go.
Melly.
Third.
And Leeds can have no complaints today, can they? They have been beaten by a much, much better side.
No, they certainly came to the party to play, did Leeds, but they've just been met by a Saints team really in the zone, and who on the day have been the best team.
Hold Jamie. Go.
Cunningham. Untidy, but
5.
diffused by Paul
Come
Clough.
on here. Go.
Wilkins looking for a 40-20 again
40.
here. He's
Keep it
inside
clear.
the 40, but Donald is
Okay.
there to make sure it
Play
doesn't
on
go
now,
beyond.
play on. First. Move. Hold. Go.
Hall.
Shoulder. Second. Go.
Well,
Go 10.
Wigan dominated this competition, didn't they, in the late 80s and early to mid-90s, winning it 8 times
Come on
in
with the ball,
succession,
Neil.
88 to
Hands
95.
in.
And there was a suggestion that you could never have that kind of domination of one competition ever again, but St Helens, having won it 3 times in succession, if they hang on here, will really fancy their chances of making it 4 out of 4 this year, won't they?
Well, they're certainly doing the best, aren't they, to dominate it once again, and with performances like this, it will take a mighty effort to wrest that Challenge Cup from their grasp.
Here comes Peacock. Diskin over the top to Burrow. Or maybe Leeds are not finished yet. Burrow with a chip, Hall and Senior with a chase, Melly and Wellens with the hands to get it clear. Gardner and Wellens, I should say. And it will be a drop out underneath the sticks.
Well, all credit to Leeds, they really are playing to the very, very end, and some good little plays there. Inventive piece of play from Rob Burrow, just the chip to the corner. But St Helens really out in the zone today, and it was Paul Wellens tracking across just to push the ball into the crowd and into safety.
Well, the clock has been stopped here, and he's now back on again as Wellens again tries to drill it as far downfield as he possibly can from the drop. And with just over a minute and a half left to play,
First.
well, Leeds have to score twice, and it will take something quite miraculous now. They have to score within the next couple of tackles and then get some kind of response again from the restart. It's unlikely. Here's Badira's. Maguire. Gibson. Saints just sliding across comfortably. Gibson chips it away to Donald. Donald back inside to Badira's. Badira's onto Peacock. Peacock out and Sinfield. This is good handling. Sinfield to Burrow. Burrow across to Ablett. Ablett looks outside and Senior will score. Senior touches down. What a try that was. Breathtaking handling and so crisp under the circumstances as well, but has it come too late?
Well, all credit to Leeds. They really have played the part in today's game, and right up to the 80th minute, they've kept the foot down. They're attempted to keep themselves in the game, and it was a superb offload there from Peacock that started off, and then Sinfield offloaded. Long pass there to Ablett, and composure for Senior to go over, and Sinfield's tagged the 2 on.
18 points to 22, but now there are only a matter of seconds left to play. Quite simply, from this kickoff, Leeds will have to score. If indeed we get to the kickoff, the hooter might sound before St Helens are ready to take it. Referee has stopped the clock. 9 seconds to go.
Well, if Leeds win this game, they're the Harry Houdinis of rugby league.
Here we go. 9 seconds to go. Now the clock starts again. Leeds have to score from this play. Peacock looks to drive it in, doesn't want to take the tackle. Out it goes, the hoot has sounded, but it won't finish until the ball is out of play. Donald scoops it up, Maguire throws it back. Sinfield now looks around. What are his options? Tries the kick, comes off a St Helens player. Referee says play on. Here comes Peacock with a driving run. Peacock slips it back, taken majestically by Badeiras, but the tackle comes in as well. Just for a moment, the impossible looked on, but it was only for a moment. And St Helens on the side, that win through what has been a truly memorable game.
Magnificent game. I think it's quite fitting as well that Lee Gilmore pulled off another scramble cover tackle there to actually kill the game in the dying minute. What a sensational end, what a sensational 80 minutes of rugby league that we've had.
It's been a dynamic and dominating performance that has seen St Helens through, perhaps a little more comfortably than that full-time score suggests. But St Helens, the 3 times holders, have taken a very solid step back on the road to Wembley, having beaten Leeds here today by 22 points to 18.
Well, let's hear from the victorious coach. Mick Potter is down with Damien.
Mick, congratulations. How did your side come here and beat Leeds?
Well, they were disciplined in what we done. We had a plan, and again we done what we, as far as we completed. You know, it was just I'm a bit speechless here, but it was just a fantastic effort, and I thought we were resilient right to the end there.
Have you had to change much, Mick? I mean, we know about Saints as an attacking force, but the scramble defence was particularly impressive today. Is that something you've implemented?
No, I think they've all been disciplined in that before, and I think defence wins your matches, and it did today, and I'm glad we got a couple of points early.
A Carnegie man of the match performance from John Wilkin. Has he ever played half-back?
Yeah, well, he played 6 today, and I thought he done very well, and I'm real happy with the way he went.
We talked before the game about this run of 3 wins on the trot in the Challenge Cup. You're on target for a 4th.
Well, we'll just wait for the draw and see how we go there with that.
Congratulations, Mick. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mick.
We have John Wilkin. Congratulations, John. You're our Carnegie man of the match. Here's the champagne. Have you ever played at 6 before?
I have done, yeah. It's more from my amateur days rather than professional days, but I suppose modern professionals, you have to have a rounded game, and I'm glad I could contribute to us a great victory for us today.
When did you know that you were playing in the halfbacks?
All through the week. It's not been a surprise, and it's something I've done before. I played there last week briefly, so I think one of the things which Mick has brought in is give us a lot of diversity. Every individual's got a few strings to the bow, so I'm happy to play in that position, but happy to play any position. I'm just very thankful that I can be involved in a great game.
Be honest, when the draw was made and Leeds came out paired with St Helens, your heart must have sank.
No, not at all. I mean, we know what it takes to win the cup. Well, we've done that for the last 3 years, and we know that you've got to beat the top teams and the informed teams. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you play them now or at Wembley. You've got to beat the best teams, and the Leeds would argue they've been one of the formed teams at the start of the season, and we've beat them. So.
When did you know the game was won? Because it was tight all the way through.
Well, games are never won, are they? And I think that's lessons you learn from all sports is to play to the last minute. If you look at Liverpool this week in the Premiership, playing to the last minute, and we know that's the same in every professional sport.
Congratulations, John. Kieran Cunningham's with us as well. Kieran, the St Helens bandwagon in the Challenge Cup, off and running again.
Yeah, it was the only disappointing thing there is that one of these fantastic sides have been knocked out of the cup. It was fitting for any final, that was.
What was the difference between the 2 sides today, do you feel?
You couldn't put tracing paper between it. We're so tightly competitive, across the board we're level, and we are the 2 best sides in the comp, and what a spectacle that was. We went up, I think it was 20 points to 6, and any other side you'd think you'd have that game won, and they kept us battling till the end.
What about John Wilkin, a man of the match performance in a strange position for him?
Yeah, he was. I mean, the thing about Wilco is, it don't matter where he plays, you know, he's a very tough kid and he'll take every carry for you, he'll hit every hole, and he's there to kick the ball and do the pretty things as well. So we miss Sean tonight, and John slotted in perfect, and, you know, we're in the bag for the next round.
Congratulations, Kieran. Thanks very much. Paul Wellens is here. Paul, a tough old game, that, 22-18.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when we prepared for the game, we knew that we was going to have to perform for 80 minutes, and you know, Leeds showed they're a quality side. They don't lie down. They kept coming back at us, and you know, we had to hang in there. But the boys had enough about them to dig deep and see us through.
Did you come here with an extra spring in your step after beating Leeds a couple of weeks ago?
I mean, it builds a bit of confidence, but it has no bearing on the performance, because you've got to come, you've got to do the same things again. You've got to defend well. You've got to make the correct decisions in the right end of the field, and you know, we did that on the main today. I mean, there's a few areas we can improve in, but that's all, like we always try and improve.
Thanks, Paul. Matt Gidley's with us as well. Matt, do you feel like there's some kind of bandwagon rolling again for St Helens? They've got this great record in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's always a tough game against the Leeds boys, and to draw them early, it was nice to get them early and get it out of the road. But they're a quality team, and you know, we worked hard, and we'll take a bit of confidence out of today.
Was it as tight and intense as you expected?
Yeah, always is. We're full aware during the week it was going to be a tough game, so it's just about hard work and taking opportunities when they come. So luckily we'll be able to do that today.
Tell me about this partnership you've got going with AD Gardner. It just seems to click.
Yeah, no, it works well. I mean, we've been together 2.5 years now, so like anything, the longer you play together, the little intricacies you build together, and yeah, we're just lucky we got a couple today.
Congratulations, well done.
All right, thank you.
Well, very satisfied St Helens fans will be drifting out of the stadium and going the 70 miles back across the Pennines, and it's the most gorgeous evening. They will be feeling extremely satisfied because their side marches on. 22-18 winners here at Headingley. Leeds through everything they had at St Helens, but Paul, your side too strong and too skillful.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous performance there from St Helens, from both teams, but from St Helens especially. And just a willingness to work for each other, and you know, certainly on defence, you know, the scramble. You know, John Keir mentioned it. Fitting that Lee Gilmore should make the last tackle of the game in such circumstances. Thought he was immense today. Leon Price, you know, John Wilkin again.
All in all, it was just a fabulous team performance. But for Leeds, Justin, there was a moment in that second half where, had they scored, it could have been such a different match, and literally within the minute, St Helens were at the other end scoring themselves.
And that's what St Helens are so good at. They absorb pressure after pressure, and then before you know it, you're down the other end of the field and they're scoring a try. Here we see offloading the football here. Rob Burrow makes the break, and you think that he's going to score for all money here, gets to the fullback. Lots of Saints players in the frame there to cut it down, and they reorganise the defensive line very, very well. Goes to Maguire, sums up the situation, and this effort here from Lee Gilmore, absolutely outstanding. But the play's not dead there. They continue on from that point, and then, as you said, go down the other end of the field and get some points. That's what St Helens do to you.
And as they went, literally, this is within the minute, the 40-20 kick from John Wilkin creates the space, and that is capitalised upon.
Well, he kicked 2 40-20s today, and that's an outstanding effort for somebody that's not a recognised kicker. We've got to remember that this win was done without Sean Long. Here we see the Paul Wellens try. We see 2 Leeds defenders on that short side, so that only leaves them 4 on the other side. Leon Price sums that up. Great line there by Lee Gilmore. He takes the defensive line on. Maguire on the outside is undecided whether he has to come in and take that man or get on the outside. He decides to come in. Wellens too much space on the outside, but with only 4 defenders there that close to the line, very, very hard to defend. Nice selective pass from Leon Price, and great work from the wingman also on the outside of Wellens there to hold his shape and allow him just to slide through there and get the ball down.
And that was Paul Wellens' 142nd try for St Helens. But everywhere you look on the pitch, there was mutual trust, there was instinctive passing. They seemed to all know what the other one was going to, where they were going to be and what they were going to do.
Yeah, and I think that was a good thing with St Helens today. Clinical on attack. Just you know, there's no such thing as a dummy runner with St Helens. You know, you're an option. You know, the guys who are running through the hole, you know, often it goes behind them, but putting them bodies in spaces attracts defenders. And
Justin, just talk through this analysis.
Yeah, you see Keith Senior there, who normally defends out a little bit wider, involved in the tackle, and we saw both players, even with Kieran Cunningham going the wrong way initially. He obviously had a call from somebody. We saw in the frame there beforehand, we saw Robbie Burrow putting his hand up, calling for players. We saw Gidley putting his hand up, calling for the ball. He eventually gets the ball, and the offensive team wins on that occasion.
And you can see AD Gardner there, jumping for joy. He didn't mind the fact that the pass didn't come for him to score again. He was just thrilled that it was another score on the board. And for Matt Gidley, who scored scored the first and last tries against Leeds when they met in the Super League. He wanted to get on the scoreboard today. Well, Brent Webb did score for Leeds, and this was part of the big comeback that nearly came off.
They were always going to rally at some stage. We see here Gidley gets caught going sideways. A nice pass here from the inside. Keith Senior wants to beat him on the outside, and because Gidley's going sideways, he's got no momentum to make the tackle, and a nice break here from Senior. Good pass back on the inside, good support play. I thought if Roby possibly stayed on his feet there, could have had a better effort to make the tackle, but Brent Webb very, very fast indeed. And again, just a nice pass, a little outline there from Keith Senior, and that's what he's very good at. He's also can come off the outside foot, but you know, they were going to rally at this stage, Leeds.
If anyone's being pedantic watching this, they might suggest that Webb didn't ground that ball.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can be so technical. I think, you know, obviously Brent Webb's clear there for the try, and you know, whether he grounded it or not, I don't think makes that much difference.
No.
Like I say, he's way over the line, and you know, great try, great support.
A very high quality match, very tense and tight, and 40 points scored in total. Well, there were double those points scored in Perpignan. The most extraordinarily dramatic match. Bradford Bulls led 26-0 at one stage, but Catalan Dragons came back to win 40 points to 38.